biscotti is a delicious and traditional Italian sweet that's great by itself or served with your favorite coffee.
And here to show us how to make it is personal chef Bill Collins. Bill, it's a pleasure seeing you again.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
I'm going to roll up my sleeves because I think I might get a little messy today.
I think this is one of the times where you do want to play with your food.
I'm already ahead of the game. My sleeves are already rolled
You're
up.
all set. So today we've got a double chocolate walnut biscotti. It's a recipe that, well, okay, I stole it from my sister. And
At least you're honest.
somebody has to be. It's a terrific recipe. It's the best biscotti recipe I've ever done, and people just rave about it every time. It's my go-to cookie, and that's how terrific it is. I think you're going to like it as well. And the first step, which I've already done, is really just throwing all the ingredients in the pan together. But there is one thing I do want to say. I've got cocoa powder in here. Two things about cocoa powder. Cocoa powder and confectioner's sugar are two things you should always sift. And that's because you always end up with like these little bubbles, these little bits that don't necessarily break down even if you mix them up. Sift them and you'll have a nice powdery texture with both of those ingredients, although it's just cocoa powder today.
So Bill, if you don't sift them and you get those little chunks in there, does it change the taste? What do you taste?
You might just get like a little pocket of powder. I mean, it's very small.
Pop of powder?
Yeah, little, yeah. It's not going to ruin it because you say, oh, what was that?
Yeah, it's no fun to eat.
No.
And no one likes to be surprised when they're eating.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't want.
No.
And there are two kinds of cocoa powder in the world. And you'll see on your shelf, you've got Dutch process and natural process. The natural one is like Hershey's, which is very good. And the thing is, the Dutch process has some of the acid taken out. It's a little bit darker. And so the difference is, and how do you know which to use? Just follow the recipe, because if it has baking powder in it, it used Dutch process. And if it's got baking soda in it, you can use the natural. And it's just one of those little scientific-y things, because you might have a little bit of a bite to it afterwards. But follow the recipe, because recipes, they differentiate them. And if there's neither of those, baking powder or baking soda, use either one. So just a little sciencey thing there in your kitchen.
And what else do you have in there?
I've got chocolate chips, I've got walnuts, I've got eggs, I've got butter, and that's just about it, and sugar.
Oh, there you go.
And so what I've done is I just divided the dough. This is a great recipe where you can either make bigger biscotti or smaller ones. I like smaller because you get more.
Exactly. You can eat, and you can eat a lot of
Just munch and munch.
Exactly. And so really all we're going to do now is shape this into a log. You see a lot of recipes say shape into a log. What does that mean? And in this case, just kind of flattening it out, and it doesn't have to be round like a log, but I like to just make it, do like that. And it's going to be about 10 inches long and about an inch and a half wide.
Okay, and about what? Almost an inch thick, I would say.
Yeah, it's just going to be about an inch and a half once it all.
A little smidge bigger than an inch.
Exactly, and so just kind of do it that way, and you can make it a little bit wider, a little bit narrower. It's going to bake up just fine. And this is the smaller of the two sizes. So this recipe will yield 4 of these logs, and I've got 2 of them here. Anybody like to play with their food?
Yeah,
we do.
I think you should go to town on that one.
Well, okay.
Now, see, it's fun. Just kind of shape it and
You
mash
did
it.
it a lot faster.
I do this all the time.
I was going to say, Bill's a master making these logs.
I've been playing with my food for years.
See, I always listen to my mother. She said, don't play with your food. Now I'm supposed to. I'm very conflicted, Bill.
I'm not
That's
gonna say
why I'm not good at it. Because my mom told me not to.
I'm not going to say rebel against your mother, but every now and then you probably should when it comes to making biscotti. And actually, a little fun fact, I tripped over this years ago. Biscotti is plural. One is actually called a biscotto.
Oh.
But if you go and ask for a biscotto, they'll look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
So
a biscotto and biscotti is multiple.
Yes, absolutely. It's plural. So it's just one of those things.
So once we've made our logs, we put them in the oven at what temperature and for how long?
350, and the smaller logs go in this size for about 22 minutes. And then biscotti, the whole thing about biscotti is they're baked twice. Because you see, this looks nothing like the little cookies we're going to have. No. So you pop it in the oven, you bake it until it's firm to the touch, and little cracks may or may not be starting to form on the very top. But that's really all you do is you bake them, and then take them out of the oven, let them sit for 5 minutes, and then you have the next step.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to make the first step, and Bill, thank you so much for making these. They smell tremendous.
I hope mine turns out okay.
I think it'll be perfect.
There's more Matt's Appeal coming up right after this.